This morning we're at the Farland substation west of Jefferson. This sub has been offline since last year, undergoing a rebuild project as part of our 34.5 to 69 conversion. And what that is taking us from the 34.5 grid to a more reliable 69 grid. With this rebuild, we are installing all new equipment, new transformer, new regulators, new electronic breakers, all new switches, all new insulators. What that does is kind of beef up our substation, make it more reliable, more dependable. With this sub, we're also doing SCADA, which allows us to monitor the sub from the office, voltage, amps. It gives us an idea of what's going on before it becomes a problem. If a problem does occur, then we can have a plan in place when the crew is en route, which speeds up the fix. Doubling the capacity of the substation allows us to use this sub to feed other parts of our system if another substation would happen to go down due to an outage. It allows us to do more switching for maintenance and other unplanned events. In 2024, we finished our Stratford substation, which serves the Stratford area as well as the town of Stratford. We installed SCADA at Stratford as well as Scranton and started this Farland project. In 2024, we rebuilt over 5 miles of line as well as added around 15 miles of line. And we focused our attention on main feeder lines, main backfeed lines. Reliability starts at the substation, so investing in the substation, investing in the main feeders, investing in the backfeeds to those subs will help keep reliability up, keep our members' lights on. In 2024, we saw our average outage frequency drop over 12% compared to the previous 4-year outage. And I think a lot of that is attributed to our investment in the subs, our investment in tree trimming, our maintenance programs, and our pole replacement programs.
While striving to increase system reliability, we also remain focused on the safety of our employees and members.
We're at Seven Hills Park, south of Jefferson, and today we're installing line for the I6 tower, which is for emergency services and the co-op's radio communication system that we've moved to. So the crews are installing line to get power to the tower. We're working cooperatively with Midland and Nishnabotna, Valley REC out here. We did volunteer donate our hours and time into this because it's a benefit to not only the emergency services, but to the public and also to the cooperative. So safety plays a key role in the co-op. When we're faced with the extreme conditions, whether it's weather or other elements of weather, we really push, don't get complacent in what you do. Complacency kills, and so with other coworkers there around you, we stress that we want you watching each other, have each other's backs on a daily basis, not only during storm work. We want everybody to go home safe at the end of the day. So in 24 alone, we worked over 105,000 hours without a lost time accident. And that puts us back to 2019. Since 2019, we've worked over 562,000 hours without a lost time accident or injury. And that's significant.
From innovations in public safety to new technology on the roadway, we're working to be our members' most trusted source of energy information.
So today we're at Midland Power's office here in Boone County, enjoying the EV car show. The whole issue of EV vehicles has been intriguing to me. The market's changing so much. People's mindsets are changing so much around this topic. And so I feel it's my job to get out there and figure out what's going on, what different power companies are doing to accommodate these new vehicles, what consumers are wanting. And as you can see here, there's different vehicles, whether it's pickup trucks or a small vehicle or SUV. There's something here for everybody.
Just trying to be a trusted advisor, so we're not biased one way or the other. So you can have whatever you want. We want you to make the decision.
Big a part of EVs and helping bring that information to our membership is just really being true to who we are as electric co-op. If you go back to electric co-ops were formed, the co-ops help bring just home appliances, irons, washing machines, refrigerators, that type of technology, and help share that with our members, again, to drive quality of life. I think EVs fit in that same vein, and I think we're also a great place where we can be a trusted energy advisor. We want to be that place that you could come ask those questions, and you may learn, you know what, that doesn't work for me. Yes, that does work for me. And so we're not really advocating one way or the other, but we want a place to be where our members can get good information.
Well, it's something we've kicked around a lot on the board. We've talked about it for a long time and finally, ended up leasing an EV vehicle. And I guess, from board perspective of why we think that's important is, like I said, you may not like EVs, you may like EVs, you may never ever want one, but still from the hat of having as a director is, with the EV, you got to figure out the rates, you got to figure out time of charging. So we're looking at ways, with different rates coming in when someone's charging, we're getting the data off that to see if there's ways that we can, alter that to save the co-op money.
To have a cooperative that's on the front lines of this, getting ahead of the issue, seeing what's on the consumer's mind, seeing what maybe things that they need to address within their grid to be able to accommodate this market. It's really apparent to me that Midland's on the front line. I really appreciate that, and consumers seem to be happy with their services and the costs of Midland. And I think it's a tribute to Midland getting ahead of things. And so today's a classic example.
Whether it's information on EVs or on-site renewable energy options, Midland Power's team is here to help.
So we're out at a member's place just taking a look at their solar panels that they recently installed. So a member reached out to us and said they were interested in solar and wanted to see more what it could look like. So we ran some numbers for them and they felt good about it. And so we went and installed a project for them. When a co-op decides to join Iowa Choice Renewables, they're sending a message to the members that they care about what's going on in the electric industry today. They want their members to be informed when making these decisions and educated on what's out there and what their options are. And they want to give them a reputable source to get unbiased information for what they can expect. So Iowa Choice Renewables can do installs all the way from a small residential system all the way to a larger commercial, industrial, or agricultural system. So oftentimes when we're out there meeting with people who have installed solar, we'll run across situations where their system may have been oversized or they may have been overpromised on what this may be able to do for them financially in reflection of their bill. And so this is all things you can avoid by working directly with your co-op from the start. We have a lot more detailed information than any solar companies do just at our fingertips. We can go and see what you're using down to even 15-minute data. So we can give you a better analysis of what solar can realistically do for you. So there's a real advantage to working with your rural electric cooperative if you're looking at solar. We passionately care about helping our members and making sure that they understand and are educated on everything and the big picture before they make these big decisions.
Looking out for our members and communities is part of the cooperative difference.
And if you really go back through the electric co-op world, the co-ops were formed to improve quality of life in rural America, and that we did that, and we continue to do that. And making rural America a great place to live is part of that benefit. And I think businesses contributing to communities, helping to provide great places to do things for the people that live here, our members, improving their quality of life. So that's a big part of it. The second part of it also is internal. By going out and doing these community work days, we're able to get our team members together. Our crews and our office staff are spread out over a 17-county geographic area. So being able to come together those days and build collaboration, to build teamwork, helps us serve our members better.
I just think that's a good, outlier that you can help in the community. It's a touch that you get with other people that, normally you wouldn't have. We have the ability to go out and trim trees or help in other aspects that a lot of people, you just can't do on your own, have the equipment. So we feel that that's a good use of time for the employees to get out and visit with the membership and, show that we're, again, cooperating with everybody.
Whether it's in our own backyard or halfway around the world, Midland Power is working to improve lives. Last summer, one of our linemen volunteered to help bring electricity for the very first time to the residents of a remote Guatemalan village.
Well, we got an email from the NRECA asking Midland Power if they would want to send one guy from the company to, if somebody wants to volunteer to go on this trip, going to a third world country, and you have no idea what you're getting into. And obviously going with 13 other linemen from other co-ops that I had no idea who they are. You don't know who you're going to be working with or how you're going to get along with them. But I mean, it worked out amazing. It was a great group of guys. It really wasn't what I was expecting when we showed up there. I was expecting more jungle area, and mountains. I knew there's gonna be a lot of terrain and stuff, but the mountains and everything were something that I was not expecting. It was just something more like the Colorado mountains and stuff like that, terrain. And I think it took us like over 3 hours just to drive 60 miles to the big city where we were staying in Jalapa, just because there was not a straight road the entire time. The main mission was to finish up a project that the group ahead of us was not able to finish. We had to string in overhead line, so all the poles were set, and so we had to go and frame up the poles, and then we ran the ACSR, the aluminum wire, primary wire, all the way to the village, and we had to set one transformer, and then we had to run all the secondary lines to all the other poles, and then to the meter poles, and then from the meter poles to their houses into a breaker box, and then from the breaker box we had to wire the houses for some outlets, some switches, and some lights. From the time we leave the city from our hotel, it would take us over an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes to drive to this place. Half of it was kind of 2-lane road, and the other half, the back half, was just a single lane road, and there wasn't hardly any places to turn around once you started on these roads until you got to the village. The locals helped us out tremendously. I mean, they made our life a lot easier. They took our wire and they just went down the mountain and back up and back down, stringing out that primary wire. It was just incredible to watch them work, and it was just amazing that they are always there to help us. If there's a tree branch in the way for the secondaries, up in the tree, they chop the tree down or the limbs, and they are always there to be around and helping us. It was amazing to see that just for the lights to come on for the first time and their reaction. They were so happy. Their faces just lit up, not because of the light bulbs, but just they are so excited. And yeah, it was just an amazing experience.
Building a brighter future here at home means working in partnership with our local businesses, helping them identify programs and resources to grow and thrive.
So I go back to with our commercial members, we went and did a bus tour, went down and, toured some different things, went and hit Eiley and, walk in there and just look at all the people employed there and how that serves the membership base. I just thought it was a really neat business they got going down there. And I just look at, like I said, whether it's residential or our commercial, I mean, it's all part of the pie and we all have to make it work. And, we do everything we can, whether that be outside stuff, even as far as like economic development, because to me that you put an industrial park in, that brings more people in, might bring more business on our line, and again, pulls members in that maybe you didn't have moved into your area.
We're here in Ellsworth, Iowa. We're at the Rotofor molding plant where we make swell watercraft kayaks. We took about 3 years to develop a patented valve system that drains water out of a sit-on-top's cockpit. So this is the only kayak in the world that actually utilizes this system.
We were a cash-strapped business. We moved that business to South Africa in 2020. There was a lot of economic downturn during that time. We suffered considerably as a result. Our cash flow suffered. We looked around. Where does it make sense in the United States to kind of locate an operation like this that's going to kind of bring in manufacturing that's high quality and is supported by the community? So we looked around quite a bit. We looked in many states in the Midwest, in the West, and out on the East Coast, and in the South, came and found that Iowa really had a great opportunity because the workforce is frankly very dedicated and hardworking. The location is relatively central. There's highways that go both east and west and north and south directly from where we're at. and it just seemed like a logical fit. We started looking for partners out in how are we going to pull this off, right? Because we're a relatively small operation. And we found Corn Belt Power and Midland Power as potential partners for us to help get the capital, get started in building the operation, putting it together so that we could bring it back to the United States and have a manufacturing organization that was going to drive this quality product that we're trying to put out.
The loan programs come through programs we're able to access through the Rural Utility Service, through USDA. And so it's really us helping to manage those and pass those through. So we're not really using a lot of member money where it's a pass through from the government. It's allowing us to then access that money, help invest it here in rural Iowa and make rural Iowa better and give people opportunities to start a business and improve their quality of life, but also provide services to others and create jobs, which we think helps all of our members across our system.
There's not a cookie cutter approach to the revolving loan fund. We look for bridging the gap for companies that are coming to enhance economic growth in the communities that we serve, as well as to add services for our membership and those in the rural territories that we serve. You think about the benefits that adding employment to a community offers that community. There's things like the iron in the ground from the actual infrastructure of that business increases the tax base for that community. So that's able to help stabilize taxes for all residents in and around the community. But additionally, adding jobs means money spent within that community for those who live here.
So if we would not have had that available capital fund, there's a good chance the small business that we had may have just folded and failed. And we wouldn't have been able to put this together as a budding local industry that is going to benefit this community long term.
Keeping the lights on for our members also means ensuring the cooperative is in good financial health.
The financial part of the business isn't something that the members usually see. Usually you see that the lights are on and they think of operations and maintenance, but the finances have to be available in a healthy structure to make sure that that money is available. So if there is things that come up, that the co-op can support those to make sure that the lights remain on and the repair and maintenance can be done. Our average budget for capital is about $4 to $5 million per year. It has been over the last couple of years. That money gets reinvested back into the lines and substations to improve reliability. So that's the largest section of our budget is our capital spending. The benefit of Midland Power compared to investor-owned utilities is that we, instead of taking that extra revenue or margins that we get from our members, we return it back to them where an investor-owned keeps that.
Investor-owned utilities are there to make a profit. Those profits are put back into the shareholders' pockets. Where Midland Power Co-op, being a member-owned utility, we send those profits back to our members. For the year 2024, we returned to our members $1.1 million. Over the last decade, it's been over $10 million total.
Residential members continue to account for just over half of the cooperative's annual revenue of $52.9 million, while purchase power comprises nearly 70% of the co-op's nearly $51 million in annual operating expenses. In March, Midland received a clean financial audit for the year.
The electric utility industry is going through massive amounts of change. There's new entrances, we're bringing more renewables, a lot of changes. But as the co-op, we think the best way to work through those changes is to stay focused on our members. And so our vision is to be our members' most trusted and reliable valued energy source, their community's most respected partner, and a team focused on safety and empowerment. And if, despite any changes happen, if we stay focused on that vision, serving our members in a safe way, empowering our employees to provide great service, make good decisions in the field, those are the key things. We're driven to serve our members. And I think that vision statement focuses on providing those things for our members. We're driven to care for our members. We're driven to provide them reliable service. We're driven to try to provide value to them. We're driven to improve their quality of life and make investments and participate in those things where we can. And we're driven to do that in a safe way. And we're driven to also care for our employees, because we believe if we have a great culture here with our team, that's going to come out in driving and focusing and serving our members and giving them great service.